coming to you live from the Putasos podcast.
Oh no! Just slapped him like that!
Alright guys, welcome back. Putasos podcast episode number 6. Got some special guests today, my boys. Video chatting in from different places right now. We got little Ant chatting in from Dallas, Texas. Go Cowboys. And we got Malik. Look at that skyline, bro. That's San Diego, California. Thanks for chatting.
What's up, baby?
Appreciate having you guys on.
Good to see the boys.
Good to see you guys.
You guys ready for this shit or what?
Ready. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having Leek on. My friend Joe here started a really cool podcast and about something we all obsess over, you know, MMA and other fight sports, combat sports. Little bit of business sprinkled in, but I'm excited to take part.
I feel like a fucking 3-year-old, bro. I gotta roll up my sleeves because this fucking thing's too long. Anyway, no, but it's cool, bro, because when people ask me, they're like, well, what inspired you to make the pod? And I literally tell them, like, me and my friends obsess over this shit. Like, we're always talking about it anyway. Even if it's not recorded, we're texting the group, who do you got? This is what happened. Look who pulled out. Look who's in. Look what fight just got announced. So I was like, whoa, we're always talking about it anyway. Might as well slap it up on video. You know? So I think it's super cool because you guys are the two people, like, don't get me wrong, I've had people on the pod that I talk to and stuff like that. But you guys are more of like those regular people that we're always talking about it and we're always, you know, sharing our opinions. So I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, I feel that. Because, like, really for me, I mean, we've all grown up watching fighting. But I'm thinking back back to Montiavos, you know, nothing else to do but watch fights, bro. All those days and nights we'd come up, just watching fights, have a drink, you know, get pumped up over whoever got knocked out that night. And that was back when, like, you could actually hear the impact and stuff. I just made it that much better.
I think that's what got it, really projected the sport a lot. I mean, there was nothing else to watch. You could seclude, you know, 20 people in a room, get it passed, and call it a fucking pay-per-view card, you know? So, I ended up liking it better because you could hear the hits. You could hear them talking shit. And then you started to hear fighters like it more because they could hear the hit. They don't got the crowd. They could talk shit to each other. They could hear the commentators and talk to them back and forth when they're fighting and stuff. So it created a cool other dynamic that they threw in. And I like that they still have these cards at the Apex that could very well, I mean, almost every card, whether it's a fight night or a pay-per-view, could be almost a pay-per-view just about. Like, since COVID, I feel like they've almost topped every single one every time.
I just did a pod with Brendan and we were talking about that because it's a fight night and we were going through it and it's at the Apex, that fight night, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, we have the main event, but when you look at the main event, like, people tend to judge the whole card off the main because they're like, well, if this is the main, can't really get much better below it. But what we did is we're like, hey, here's the main, but don't sleep on X, Y, and Z. Like, these are the fights you need to watch. Like, these people are on the come about. Anyway, it's just cool because we're legit just all homies that watch this stuff, and now we're just putting it on video. So it's like something that we were gonna do regardless, but now we're just throwing a camera on.
But if you really think about it, it's really just like how we're reacting in person if you were to be there watching the fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dead serious. But all right, let's get started. I want to pull the card up. We'll pull it on our monitor. Okay. I want to start from the bottom. We'll start from the bottom of the card.
Okay, hold on. First, I want everybody to vote. We had a conversation earlier.
You voted for Biden.
I think you're trying to get out of it, Malik.
Oh, bro, I'm not trying to get out of it. Please bring it up.
And then we're gonna actually put it to the test too. Who would win in a fight? Me?
Stop.
Or Malik? We know what the people voted last time.
Bro, the only people
I think you got one
because
sympathy
they
vote.
know you have it, bro. They know you have the ground game on me, which I will admit. But both of you, when I start striking, you don't keep it up with me very long.
Then I'll take you down and strangle you.
But see, exactly my point. you don't want to stand either.
Doesn't matter. I'll win.
My point.
No, it's funny.
We stand for 2 seconds and you realize what's happening.
I forgot
Listen.
who I was talking about. Oh, I was talking with, we were at Gogi last night. I was with Jason, Eddie, and this guy and someone else. And Jason was like, I want to learn how to fight because, like, when we're out and about, like, I just want to feel like we got it. And I was like, bro, I was in Vegas with Little Ant, Micah, Malik, myself, and I was like an Eddie. And I was like, an Eddie was we're probably most concerned about him, but regardless, I was just like, bro, I was like, that feels good. I was like, because like they were like, well, what about Malik? I was like, well, bro, if you've ever boxed with Malik, this fool's hands are fast as fuck, bro. Like those things come in quick. But anyway,
You got those fast twitch muscles.
You know what? We're not gonna do Eddie dirty like that because
no,
I know you remember.
I will say this though. I will say this: practice makes perfect. And if you guys follow Eddie and you've been watching his shit, Eddie's been getting his work in. He's at least. He's at least showing up to the gym and putting the work in. So regardless of
no, I've definitely seen that. Okay, let's also talk about this though. Like we had a solid squad when we were out there, right?
What's up?
But remember when we had a solid squad. Oh, is that Eddie back there?
No, Eddie's not here.
No, he did.
Oh, I thought I heard him. But no, remember when we were at the actual event, you know, we feel like a solid squad, and we walk into that building and realize how many fighters are in that building. We're just like, you know what?
Yeah, bro. And it's funny. I was telling I forgot who I was telling about this. But I was like, it's weird because when you go to a football game, you go to a baseball game, you go to a basketball game, and you got the opposite team, there's shit talking, like shit like escalates quickly. But at a UFC fight, like if someone starts talking shit, you're just like,
Not the place.
And the thing is, people don't really talk shit because like, why are you there for?
They know.
Like, what do you know? What do you know? Like,
yeah.
You walk around. You walk around the hallways up there, going to get some fucking food, and you look to the left and to the right. Clearly not from America, and their ears are just blown up with cauliflower. You're like, I'm cool, you know. Like, I've only been to 2 UFC events, not seen one fight.
Even I went to a jiu-jitsu tournament a few weeks ago in Fort Worth, and it's in Fort Worth, Texas, and half of these fools are straight from Brazil, don't speak English. You just hear pasha, 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 boha, boha. And it's just like, I'm like, oh my God, scary as fuck. You know?
Really?
Yeah. I was surprised at how many there was literally half Brazilians there.
It's just one of those things where you realize everyone is like that, and you're just like, you know what? Let me not step over that line because it might already be a handful to deal with one, let alone you don't know how many boys he has with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And honestly, that's why I love UFC events because you go and everyone, like, don't get me wrong. I think there was one I went to it was with you, we were with Jesse Diaz, and there's that guy talking shit like right in front of us, and we were just like we were still talking.
Oh yeah.
Back, but like
no, wait, that wasn't.
But that was about as far as it got. You were there too, Malik. You were there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the white boy in front of us.
Yeah, but like that was like the worst. Like that's as far as that gets. Like,
okay, let's be real. That guy couldn't fight.
Yeah, he couldn't fight. We would have fucked him up. But that's not the point. Like, the point is like even like we're still like no one is willing. Like no one's gonna engage. You know, like it is what it is. It's a fucking fight. You know. So UFC fights are dope, and I'm excited.
Definitely the best show.
Malik, I don't know if I told you yet. I don't think I have. I'll be in Vegas December 16th for the Leon Colby fight. Little Ant's going to be there in Vegas for the Leon Colby fight. I can't say too much on this yet because we're still ironing out some details. But we're going to have a really, really, really special guest on that show. That can like possibly blow this pot up. So whatever you're thinking, it's a little bit bigger than that.
I feel like I have an idea.
You probably have an idea.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but it's going to be super cool.
Yeah,
so. Go ahead.
It has something to do with Ant sent the other day. I'm pretty sure.
I forget because I have like 4 really cool group messages, and I feel like you guys are in all 4 of them. They're just like mixed match, so I don't know. But yeah, we have something really big coming up. So if you can make it out in December, cool. But if not,
Well, that'll be right when I'm finishing up, honestly. So
I'm taking leave again.
Actually-
so when you have a kid, you get 90 days or you get 12 weeks off. I took 7 weeks off, and I get an additional 5. So I'm gonna take a full month. I'm gonna take December 10th through January 10th off, and that's gonna allow me to like spend the holidays with my kid, and it's gonna allow me to I'm gonna go to that fight. I don't have to take like PTO or anything like that. I just kind of get like New Year's off, my dad's birthday, all that shit. So anyway, blah blah blah. I'm gonna be at that fight, and that fight is fucking huge, bro. Like that pod that we're planning is some good shit. I want to make sure I have everything right for that one.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
there's a lot
I'm
of
looking.
to get over there because I'll be there for my work event, and I'm gonna get there Wednesday, and so I'll be there until Sunday, regardless. And I think we could go film some cool shit too. We'll probably get in a couple pods.
Yeah.
Bro, that's actually my first day out.
Here's the only
16th is
bust.
My first day out.
Here's the only bust. The big pod that we're shooting is that Thursday. It's the 14th. So the fight though is Saturday. So we're gonna shoot the pod on the 14th. Drop it probably same day. And then, so what I want to do is Thursday pod, press conference, Friday weigh-ins, Saturday fight. I'm trying to do the trifecta, bro. I want to be up in the mix. I want to meet people. I want to shake hands. I want to get my face out there. I'm gonna do everything I can to do this one right. Like as much as I want to, because I feel like me and Little Ann were texting the other day. We're like, fuck, bro. Every time we do Vegas, we crank it up to 11. Like it goes past 10. I was like, so for this one, I want to try to keep it at a cool 7. Probably not gonna happen, but I really want to do like a lot of good quality work on this one. But anyway, if you can go, that'd be fucking sick, bro.
We'll make it happen.
We're gonna vlog the whole thing. So even if you don't make the pod, you know, we're gonna vlog the fight and all that shit.
For sure, I can get there on the 15th.
Not Friday?
Yeah, I can get there on Friday.
I'm gonna need you to do me a favor.
What's up?
I'm gonna need you to bring Jay.
Easy. She's been wanting to.
Cause I'm toast. I'm a full-on dad, bro. I literally have to remind myself sometimes. I'm like, fuck. Not that it's a bad thing. I honestly love my son, bro. I love my situation. I love my son. Shit's honestly the dopest thing ever. But it's like, damn, I have to like stop and think sometimes. It's like I have a family that literally depends on me. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Joe, I want you to remember, dog. It was almost a year ago, the last time you were out here. When
Josiah was conceived, bro. My son was
it was almost a year ago at this point.
Bro, my son was made in San Diego.
Bro, we had a night too.
Lives in Napomo.
Hey, he's gonna have that city life in his blood. He's not even gonna know where it came from.
You know,
it's Thomas.
Let's go into the main card. All right, to the card. So this card, fellas, this card fucking juices me up. One, the last couple of days we've had a ton of switch ups, but even prior to the switch ups, there's just some fire fights on this card. And usually when I do these pods, I always start from top to bottom. Because usually there's some like kind of iffy fights in the middle. So you want to start with the exciting stuff and kind of just work your way through of the fights you should watch. But with this card, it's like you need to tune in from fight 1. You know? Like this card has a ton of good fights on it. I'm not going to go over the whole card, but I do want to, mainly we're going to go over the main card, but I do want to touch on a couple of these prelim fights, because these prelim fights, especially for you guys that don't watch MMA out there and you guys want to get more into MMA, these are those fights that you need to watch to kind of get an idea of what the next 4 or 5 years is going to look like, because these are those people that are going to start kind of hitting those high spots in the ranks and climbing to the top. So the first fight that I want to go over is going to be Nathaniel Wood versus Muhammad. I don't even want to try to pronounce that last name because I'm going to butcher it. But
There's
real quick,
a few of those names on here.
Quick insight on this one. So Nathaniel Wood, he came in. He's from England. He came into the UFC as a bantamweight, right? So it's 135. And honestly, when you look at his build, he's not even really a big bantamweight, but he was having trouble making the weight. So he moved up to 145, which in my opinion, he's a small 45-pounder, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. And he's beat some good people like Andre Fili and people and big names like that. So for him, I think after this fight, if he were to win, he's cracking into that top 15, top 10, good big fights. And I was even talking about last week on the other pod that bantamweight is not that exciting right now, because you had people like TJ Dillashaw's out of the mix. You got people like Peter Yan's out of the mix. You got people like Dominic Cruz out of the mix. Aljamain Sterling, great fighter, but he's not getting a rematch type shit. So like the mix is not that big. Aljo might move up. So 35 is not as, even last year, 35 was like one of the most exciting divisions, but this year it's not that big. So if Nathaniel Wood can pull off a really, really good W right here, you could see this guy entering the the bantamweight elites. So,
Well, since it's not stacked right now, how many fights realistically you think he needs?
For what, a title fight?
Yeah.
Ideal situation, he beats Muhammad, moves to the top 15, gets a top 15 guy, moves to the top 10, and then gets a title eliminator. So I think 4 more fights, including this one, 4 fights total, and you can see him in a title picture. But keep in mind, bro, like I said, bantamweight is really... Sean O'Malley is exciting. Bantamweight's not that exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But realistically, he could possibly get there sooner if like the hype followed him.
He could, bro, and especially like think of it like this: if he gets a dub here, let's just say they give him someone like Peter Yan, who's ranked number 5 or 6 or 7, whatever, on a 3-fight losing streak, and he beats it, a Peter Yan. Like, because of the state of the division, like that could be a title shot. So he could be 2 fights out, he could be 4 fights out, but I just think like last week's card, there's a lot of good bantamweights that are in the top 15 fighting. So I think they're gonna, depending on how performances go, is gonna depend on who gets put where. So that's why I lean more towards the 4 fight.
Yeah, it goes along as well with like how they finish and how much momentum they have going into each fight. Like he's on you said a 3-fight win streak.
So he's on a 3-fight win streak at featherweight. He did really good at bantamweight, but he lost some fights. But when he moved up to featherweight, he's 3-0. So let's just call it 3-0. The guy's 3-0 right now in the UFC at featherweight.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, sometimes even if they're smaller at that weight, a lot of guys just do a lot better without a weight cut. Most guys I feel like do better with the weight cut because they're used to competing at that size and weight and just going through the process of cutting weight.
Yep.
But then you got guys like, Fat Boy DC and fucking Kelvin Gastelum. And, even fucking Volk can go up to any weight and fight and hang. Not only hang, just do it really fucking well at a higher weight class. Some guys do better on a full stomach. I don't know.
No, that's
but,
fact.
Well, it just has to come. Yeah, it just comes down if you compromise your body or not. Like, you got to just like play around with it and see where it works. If you can find that range, work within that range.
And some people just can't cut weight that well. I mean, their bodies just won't react well to stuff like that too.
That's a good point, bro. And it's kind of crazy because if you look at Nathaniel Wood, his frame's not big. He's not a big dude, but even if you look at like his lower like abdomen, like he's shredded, bro. Like, you can tell he's not
Yeah.
he's not carrying a ton of excess weight. So I do feel like he's
got that,
maybe
like-
he's heavier with like the muscle, you know?
He's
And,
got that like Uriah Faber body, that thick core.
I mean,
fucking
that's
just
his body
I
kind
mean
of
that's best case scenario. That's the
Yeah.
best case scenario. If you can put on muscle weight, you don't have to like just put on like just crap weight, fat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's solid.
And I think that's why he's doing so good, is because even though he's a little bit smaller for the weight class, he's built solid. Like, he ain't no pushover, you know. 10 pounds ain't gonna make the difference between him getting bullied or not. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. But keep in mind though, we're talking a lot about Nathaniel Wood. Muhammad isn't a pushover either. So this guy's let me see his record. I think he's only has like one loss or something like that. He might be undefeated. He's 9-2-0.
Well,
So he has he's 9-2.
2-0.
He's 1-0 in the UFC. He beat Malarkey for his debut, and Malarkey's a solid name. Malarkey's not like your, best of the best, but Malarkey's been in the UFC. He's fought some tough competition, and he won by KO. Usually, when you see like Muhammad and you see that fucking flag behind his name, you're thinking wrestler. But someone who is born there more than likely is going to have a good wrestling background. But when you see him coming into a debut with a knockout, he's got best of both worlds. So let's not forget about Muhammad, because this could easily be a short night for Nathaniel Wood.
And you can see that if it does come down to it, he's got 2 decisions, but a good amount of his fights are going into the third round, late in the third round. Like either a submission late or a decision. So almost half of his fights also go the distance, which tells you if it doesn't get ended early, he can go all 3 rounds.
Yep.
And still finish at the end.
It's a good card. Yeah, that's solid. And it is a 3-round fight too. It's crazy. I'm looking at the stats right now on my screen. Nathaniel Wood is 5'6", Muhammad's 5'9", and their reach is only an inch apart. Nathaniel Wood has a 69-inch reach and Muhammad has a 70-inch reach. And their leg reach is only half an inch apart. So Nathaniel Wood's built long. Like, he's built long, and Muhammad's more like short and stocky. Muhammad's like Joe Castillo, built like a fucking potato.
Damn, poor Joe. He didn't have to catch it straight like that.
All right, another big one. There's other good fights on the prelims, but I just don't want to spend as much time on them. But there's one that like really, really, really excites me, and it's Tim Elliott versus Muhammad. I don't want to butcher the last name. We'll just call him Muhammad. So the cool thing about this, Mokaev, yeah, we'll go with that. So the really interesting thing about this fight is Muhammad, I think he's only 21, maybe just turned 22. He's on track to become the youngest UFC champion ever. So if you don't remember, John Jones was like 23 and like I think it was like I don't want to like drop bad facts, but he was 23 and some change when he won the title for Shogun. And Muhammad has the chance to get the belt before that. So if he gets the belt before John, he would be the youngest UFC fighter to do it. So this is kind of one of those, another like crossroads fight. You have Tim Elliott ranked number 10, Muhammad ranked number 11. The crazy thing about this fight is Muhammad was like ranked super low. Nobody wanted to fight him. So Dana was like, all right, if you don't want to fight him, he skips you. Boom. He gave him like some good fights. And then he got a good fight. He's ranked now with only, I think it's like 2 or 3 UFC fights. But anyway, if he wins this fight, I would say he's only one more fight away from a title fight because the state of the flyweight division.
Yeah.
Depending on what Brandon Moreno wants to do, he might have to get through him. But at the same time, Brandon Moreno lost 3 times to Pantoja. So why are you going to give him a 4th fight,
Absolutely not.
So I think Muhammad's like on a good track to do that. But Tim Elliott standing right in front of him. And if you guys know anything about Tim Elliott, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. And that Ultimate Fighter season was flyweight champions from all organizations, and winner got to get a title shot. So he got a title shot versus DJ Mighty Mouse, and he lost, but it was a really good fight. And even ever since then, he's just had some really good, tough competition fights in the UFC, and nobody bullies Tim Elliott. when you fight Tim Elliott, you're signing up for a fight. You know, so I think
if you're looking at all these, every single one of these, this last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 of the last like 15 have gone all the way, including 5-round fights. So this guy
you're
is
talking about
battling.
Tim Elliott, right?
Tim Elliott, yes.
Okay, now let's flip that. Let's look at Muhammad. Submission, unanimous decision, submission. Submission round 3, submission round 3, decision, submission round 1. This guy's a finisher, bro. So Muhammad's a stud. And there was a fight he had. I forgot who it was against, but I want to say he broke his leg. This fool put him in a knee bar, broke his leg, and this fool still got up and won the fight. I think it was the unanimous decision. But, bro, this guy's just an absolute dog. And,
I mean, all we're going to see is like a 3-round fight, and we're going to see this go to deep water. We're really going to see what he's built.
And that's why I love the 3-rounders, especially when it comes to fights like this, because there's no fill-out process. You need to win round 1. Like, if you throw round 1, by default, you have to win 2 and 3. Unless you're looking for a finish.
And you're better off trying to finish the guy at that point because you don't want to leave it up to the judge.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So I'm excited as fuck for this fight. Tim Elliott's game is always. Muhammad's on the come up. This is one of those fights where this is going to tell you where Muhammad is. Even if he wins, if he doesn't win in big fashion, basically what I'm saying is Muhammad needs to have a statement win on this one. A statement win puts him 1 fight away from the title. A split decision win does not put him in a good spot to break the record. So,
no. Who? If you got to pick now, who are you picking?
My pick is Muhammad by decision, because if you look at Tim Elliott fight, Tim Elliott's super funky, and he can roll out of a lot of stuff. His jiu-jitsu game's super good, and he doesn't get finished, bro. You know, like Tim Elliott doesn't get finished. So I think Muhammad's going to decision it out. And again, I don't think that puts him in the best spot to do what he wants to do, which is break the record. But who knows?
Yeah, I think it'd just be really, really cool to see Muhammad fast forward to a title, because that's what's going to happen if he wins this, just purely based off of his momentum and his age. You know, they'll be like, if we can get someone up there and give him a title shot and he fucking wins, and he's now we got another record.
Mm-hmm.
Then why not?
I think the UFC would do it, because honestly, that's a storyline for the UFC.
Great, that's great. That's the rise of a new, undefeated champion for. If you take that spot, that youngest, you've got to fill some shoes.
Fuck, not only some shoes, dog.
Yeah.
The shoes, dog.
The shoes.
John Jones is the best ever, bro. By a long shot.
You can't just get there and be the youngest. Like, you got to get there, be the youngest, and to sustain it.
And honestly, at flyweight, I think he can do it. But so basically, what you guys are saying is, regardless of how he wins, you think the UFC is going to push this guy?
Yeah, I think they will. Because honestly, think about it. Rojas was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah,
they thought.
He still can be that guy. Homeboy's fucking 18, bro.
He has a lot of development.
He's got
a lot of time,
years.
Bro.
Yeah, he's got development. He's not like convincing. I don't doubt that he can get there. It's just not going to be as soon as he thinks.
Yeah.
Well, I think they need to take their time with fighters like that, like him and Bo, just because you want to see them have a good career, and you don't want to see them lose too easy, because then they'll lose their marketability. They're going to lose their confidence, because obviously all these new guys going in, you got vets in there like Kevin Holland and stuff. They're like, I don't give a fuck about a title. I'll just fight. But these new guys coming in are, I want a title, and they're going to be okay with the fastest track for the most part.
Gotta be careful with that, though.
exactly. But I did hear, Bo on that end. We're getting off topic, but Bo is being strategic about his matchups and wants to take his time and develop as a fighter too. So I mean, you got
Shit,
these
bro.
new guys that are like, hey, I want a career and I want to be able to, live after my career. So I don't want to just take beatings, up front and actually get a chance to win a title, hold a title, and then retire with a business.
I'll say this though, the difference between someone like Bo and someone like Muhammad is middleweight is full of fucking killers, bro. You have death row at the top of middleweight. Adesanya is not your champ, you know, and it's like that's a stacked division, and thank God Pereira left. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Pereira out is like a big deal, but the difference between someone like Bo and someone like Muhammad is and I'm not saying Bo can't, but I truthfully think that Muhammad can snatch the belt and hold it at a very young age. And I'm not saying Bo can't, but like for example, if you throw Bo up against a Kamaru Usman or a Khamzat right now, those are really tough fights.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like even if he were to get there, like how long is he going to be able to sustain that belt? You know, versus like building him up because you build Bo up, you put him in a title contention, and at the end of next year you give him a ranked opponent. That's like good timing. But
Yeah.
someone like Muhammad,
Yeah.
I think that his fights, the big fights, are warranted, and I think that he deserves to be in this big show.
He's also more of an MMA fighter if you think about it. I mean, you just got these blue chip type marketing guys like Bo, and you want to keep them there. But then you got a real straight up fighter, honestly. I'm not saying Bo isn't, but like Muhammad, Mokaev, probably from somewhere in the mountains.
He can hit you with a
So
bunch of different stuff, bro.
yeah, and and
Yeah.
and, and
Where you
but I got
know what you're getting
honestly,
with Bo.
yeah, yeah. You're getting good wrestling and an overhand right.
Yeah,
And
straight up,
I got
bro.
We'll just
yeah,
we'll just think about it.
That
Think
sounds
about
like
it
all
this
my
way.
homies.
He doesn't have as much of a gauntlet to go through to get there.
yeah,
He he won't
yeah. I
take
mean, he's already
he won't take the physical beating like you would in middleweight to get there.
And yeah,
Because
bro.
at that point you might be expended.
Yeah, and that's because
the
I
thing
mean,
about the
yeah,
flyweight class. That's
ex-
like it's off and on, it's hot and cold because you can have it. I mean, last year I feel like, or the maybe 2021, dude, you got Davison Figueiredo on fire. Brandon Moreno for what did they do? 5 fights? How many? 4 fucking fights, bro. Like no one does that. Brandon Moreno, that was his whole year and a half, where they were just fighting each other. Imagine, yeah, 2 years. Imagine training for 2 years straight. 2 years dedicated to one person. That's fucked. And then, I mean, you guys
That sounds like
is
that sounds like Pereira with Izzy.
cheers it up, boys. Cheers it up. Oh,
Yeah, I gotta go refill.
don't
That's
worry, we'll wait for
why.
you.
That's why.
Guy had his
But I
tongue
mean,
empty.
is Kai Kara France still at flyweight?
Yeah,
You got Kai Kara France. You got Alex. You got Schmelt. Yeah.
Figgy
So
moved up.
you got
Cheers it up. Cheers it up. Cheers it up.
Cheers, boys.
So you got Figgy that moved up. And honestly, the flyweight class, I think when you get with the smaller weights, it's more of a toss up too. Because
100%.
as a smaller weight class, you're not just a striker. You can't just be striker. You can't just be a grappler. You have to be a total mixed martial artist because of how fast, how fucking strong too these guys are. A lot of these guys, yeah, you gotta have the fight IQ too, because your reaction's gotta be so much quicker, and you gotta be able to adjust a lot faster than you would at these heavier weights.
Well, just think
So,
about it. There's less weight bullying down there too.
yeah.
It's funny that you brought that up, bro. Because when it comes to smaller weights, people don't understand how strong these fools are. Like, I think people think 125 pounder and they're like, this guy's a little boy, like this guy ain't gonna do shit. But just from experience, like from being in like the combat, when I went to college, so I was a little guy in high school, right? I wrestled 106, 103. I wrestled 120 my senior year, and I was probably 124, 125 soaking wet, you know? So I had cut barely any weight. When I went to college, the jump from 25 to 33, like, fuck, bro. People don't realize, like, these fools are, like, they're still grown-ass men. You know what I'm saying? And, like, perfect example is the last fight that we just talked about. Nathaniel Wood's 5'6". Muhammad's 5'7". I'm pretty sure. Let's check out this real quick.
5'8". I think he's 5'9". 5'9", I thought.
Bro.
5'9".
Where's he at right here?
You have to go back. Back. And just click on the fight. In the middle. Yeah.
Where's Muhammad?
There you go.
Bro, Muhammad's 5'7".
5'9".
He's 5'7". It's on the UFC website, unless UFC's capping. But I guarantee you, this guy is as strong, if not stronger, than Nathaniel Wood. Like, they're still grown men rolling around, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the lightweights are always, like you said, a big toss up because the lightweights tend to have a lot of athletic gift as far as speed, IQ, and strength. But what a lot of people don't realize is, like, these fools, like, I mean, for example, me and you in the wrestling, I'm like, I always rolled with big guys. Like, I rolled with Jay Louie. I rolled with Eric. Andrew out of fucking season was an absolute tank. So it's like, you out of season is an absolute tank. You know, like J-Rod, Anthony, fucking Luke Wilson, Stu, like, these guys compete with bigger dudes, and I think that Muhammad's one of those guys that can go up to a 35 or a 45 and do just fine.
And when you're training in a gym too, I mean, that's a lot of the looks you're getting. You can't always choose to train at American Top Team and you know, all these big gyms that have 10 ranked guys in each weight in the gym at all times. You know, a lot of these guys still fight at small gyms that they kind of started at too. So who knows? Davison Figueiredo or Brandon Moreno, probably not so much now, but maybe when you go down to Alex or Manel Capé, you know, these guys are probably training with who they can. A lot of times it's going to be a guy that's like 190, 182, you know? And then comparing the athleticism between the bigger and the smaller, since I've been training jiu-jitsu a lot more, Nogi especially, they have an absolute division. An absolute division, it's all weight classes. Yeah. And a lot of the times, it's not the bigger guy that's winning. You'll have some fat fucks, bro, some 300-pound, literally blubbery guys, you know, doing really well. Against a 140-pound man, they'll probably get their arm snapped, you know?
What's that fool's name? Mikey
Musumeci?
Bro, that fool, what they call it, fights. He fought in the absolute division, and he beat this big, fat fuck, bro. This guy was like 4 bills, and he subbed him. Yeah. Shit's crazy.
And that guy's probably good too. Like even like these jiu-jitsu guys that are just big as fuck. Mm-hmm. They also got really good technique. But there's like there's a game plan when going into those fights. But it shows you the just athleticism difference based off size. Like your size doesn't always matter in these, especially the grappling exchanges. But
yeah.
Well, bro, here's a more real world situation. That the Bradley Martin guy, that fucking bodybuilder that keeps calling out smaller fighters, but won't actually test them.
Did you
see this guy box Sneeko?
He's 260, bro.
I don't give a fuck after seeing that video. I saw that video and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm not a boxer. I'll beat those.
Oh, that's the one I sent. That's the one I sent you, right? It was the one I sent you. When I was like, okay, I'm convinced.
Sneeko's a bitch too.
I saw that video. We're all piecing. I was like, we're all piecing him.
I would beat the fuck out of Sneeko. and Bradley Martin in the same fucking day.
Oh yeah.
Same day, bro. Back to back. I'd put Sneeko out in probably 15 seconds. And then Bradley Martin, bro, I'm just faking up top and going down low. He's going to the floor and I'm putting him to sleep.
Yeah.
As
no,
simple as
he's getting-
that.
Yeah, he's getting a fucking
Bradley Martin. I want the smoke.
But hey, we'll tag him too.
I want the smoke. I'm down. I need this as a
out
real.
Bradley Martin.
I need this as a real. Bradley Martin, if this ever blows up, I'm with it. We could run it.
Your squad versus our squad.
We'll beat the fuck out of their squad, bro. We will beat the fuck out of their squad, bro. I promise you.
Yeah. I'll fuck with full send of the milk.
Jay Louis would beat the fuck out
Bro,
of Bradley
Jay Louis
Martin, bro.
mopping. Jay Louis mopping.
Jay Louis would
Imagine
beat
if we
the
recorded
fuck
that.
out of Bradley Martin, bro.
We got, dude, if we ever, dude, that video of Jay Louis sparring with fucking Bradley Martin and beating the fuck out of him.
Bro, he should have never posted that video of him fighting.
I need this pod to blow up, actually. I actually need this pod to blow up because I would love to do shit like that. Like, fuck a celebrity boxing match. We finna fight, dog.
And then Bradley just picks up
In the
someone,
garage,
just slams their head on the concrete.
Yeah, fucking right, bro. He's getting ran through.
In the garage. Straight up put the mats
Bro.
down.
And
I've never
we're putting the
seen a
mats
girl
down.
do
We're
it.
putting the mats
Turn
down for
around.
him. It's not for us.
Yeah, for your
Bro.
safety.
Bro, I've never seen a grown man do a 12-point turn to turn around. Like, that's all
It's a tough point.
Hey, my man really
Oh
said,
shit! Oh fuck!
hey, you
Waddle.
expect me to believe he can? You expect me to believe he can move with me? Come on.
Mighty Mouse would actually kill him.
Oh my god, bro. Of all people, he's just like Brennan Schaub. Shout out to Brennan Schaub, dude. The fucking smartest thing he ever said. Fucking
All right, a little off topic. We're gonna get back on the card. All right.
All right, let's get back on.
So we're gonna go back up to the main card. I'm kind of down to skip the first fight unless you guys have something big to say on that first fight.
Syed Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy, obviously, looking at his fucking name, you're gonna say this guy's a grappler. But I actually watched some of his fights. This guy is really, really good Muay Thai. I want to say he's one of those guys that might have.
Hold up, sorry. Hold on, let me see that. I gotta ask you a question real quick.
Bro, I just look at Syed's picture. This guy looks like he could have played Dahmer on like a Netflix series.
Yeah, no, this guy's actually a fucking beast. I got obviously Syed Nurmagomedov. I don't know too much about this other guy, but definitely look out for Nurmagomedov. I think he's gonna put on a show. Honestly, I think he's gonna light this fool up.
Do you guys know too much about Muin? It looks like he's.
Tajikistan?
Yeah, bro.
I've never seen this guy.
Gafurou.
Jafar.
Honestly, I feel like he
Lotterer.
deserves to get fucked up just because that dumbass name that he has, bro. Like, bro.
Where's he from?
You got a dumbass name like that.
Tajikistan?
That
Dushanbe.
bro.
At least we all know how to pronounce Nurmagomedov. Like,
Honestly,
that name
fuck
pisses me
fool.
off.
That's one country I've never
Hey,
heard of
good-
in my life.
And honestly, he's bantamweight. He can come get the smoke too. What's up?
honestly, fuck
Gafurou. Guy looks
No,
like
look at this. Oh, look at this guy. He looks like he's from fucking SM.
You already.
That's the guy who tries to fight you at Cheeto Bar.
Yeah, right. That's Velasco. That fool's got a gas tank.
Shout out to Velasco.
I think Oscar Velasco would beat the fuck out of that guy.
Oh yeah.
Oscar,
used
if
to
you're
box,
watching
too.
this, absolute dog.
And I got Syed Nurmagomedov. He's gonna beat the brakes off Tajikistan.
All right, let's move up. I'll let you say it, Malika, what happened, or how you recognize this guy. But we got Ikram versus Alves. Alves is a vet in the game. He's been in the game forever. How did you recognize Ikram?
So, I'm looking into Ikram. First video that pops up is him in a fight with Hamzat. So I'm like, oh, okay, like that's dope. He fought him before. And I was back in Brave. And that video was just him getting starched. Dog.
Bro. Cosma absolutely did this guy filthy, bro.
Bro, but what was more disrespectful about it is like he clearly one hit him, right? He's clearly out. Hamzat took a second to look at him and said, "One more." Bah!
Yeah, and that was brutal. I'm gonna need you to pull that clip up, right?
Hold on. I want to show you. I want to show you what these say on Sherdog for his stats. He's got his last win. It says the method of the method of win. His last one, he won KO by punches. When he go to his only loss from Khamzat, it just says KO punch. One punch. It doesn't even say punches. It says KO punch.
Oh my god.
How'd you lose? I got punched, dog.
Wait,
Once.
that's actually disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful, bro.
Bro, all of the other ones say fucking punches. Look at the top one. It says KO punches, and then you go to KO punch.
Oh my god.
All right, thumbs up.
I should have a picture of that one dude, One Punch Man, just right next to it.
That's so funny,
Yeah.
bro.
But
Well, anyway, without going into it too much, I think Alves, in my opinion, I hope this doesn't come off as too disrespectful, but I really do think he's just kind of coming back to maybe cash a few more checks and kind of go off into the sunset type of thing. I think Ikram's gonna do his thing, man. And I think he's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
For his
No,
sake,
he is.
though,
I mean,
for his sake, he needs to figure out a weight class other than middleweight, though, because Kamzat's gonna be right at the top of that shit. So.
he's coming off of. He just came back from an ACL. He's already on a losing streak. And this is what you think the answer is.
And the thing is Alves is good, but as long as he's been around, he's kind of that guy that, like, if you win, you get a ranked title, you get a ranked fight, you know? So, like, he's kind of always been that guy where he's not, like, I guess you can call him a gatekeeper.
knocking on the door. Yeah.
So,
But,
I think
More, I wouldn't even call him a gatekeeper. I'd call him the door host before the
the
gatekeeper.
door host, fuck.
Doorman, the bouncer at fucking Cheeto.
The bellboy. Fuck. All right. Now we're going to get into the really, really fucking exciting ones. These next three fights literally fire me up, bro. Keep in mind,
God.
for all this is a morning card. So, this is a card. Don't plan on going to work and watching this shit after if you work on Saturday. This is a morning card. So make sure that you tune in earlier in the day. I think the main card
It's
starts
11
at 11 a.m.
Or
our Pacific time. So I'm in California. So 11 a.m. So I mean, your main event's gonna be at like 2, 3. You gonna be here, Malik? Yeah.
not. I don't think
Oh
so.
no, that's the weekend after. All right. So your third fight is you have Magomedov Anakalev versus Johnny Walker. So before I give my input, little you were with me. You were with me. Watch this fight, right? In Vegas.
Yeah.
Which
Wait.
one?
Ankalaev,
This was-
and he fought Jan for the title, and it was a draw.
I didn't watch that one, but that was a fucking war. And Ankalaev won that one.
He didn't
Straight
win
up.
that fight, but
Yeah, and they gave him
I
the
disagree with the whole war thing. But who was with me on that fight?
that wasn't at
Oh
Covington.
no!
We
You
were
guys-
at
it was,
Covington. We weren't at that
Micah
one.
was with me. Yeah, you guys weren't there. But anyway, I watched that fight live. That was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I do believe Magomed won, but that was just a boring ass fight. And after that fight, they gave Glover the title shot versus why am I blanking out on his name right now? Jamal
Who the fuck
Hill.
did he beat?
Jamal Hill. So that's when Jamal
yeah.
Hill and Glover fought, and Jamal Hill won the title. But
Yeah,
Anakalev, I'm pretty sure Ankalev's last fight was that fight. So this guy hasn't fought in a minute. He's coming
And it
back.
was a draw, wasn't it?
It was a draw, and he said he was going to leave the UFC, but he didn't. He came back, a year and a half later, and now he's fighting Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, so just for some insight, Johnny Walker was on like this fucking crazy like incline up, and then he just ran into some brick walls, and he took a couple L's. Since then, Johnny Walker's got some good W's in the books. I think he's found his rhythm, and since he's on a win streak versus a guy that maybe should have the belt right now, this is a really good stepping stone for Johnny Walker. I think it's like a lose-lose for Magomedov because he's coming off a title fight, and if he wins, what does this fight do for him? I don't think it puts him back in title contention. So for Johnny Walker, if he wins, you can argue title shot. And the thing about Johnny Walker on the fight is he's got some fucking attributes. I don't know if you're looking at the reach. This fool's got a 7-inch reach advantage on him.
Yeah, this guy's a specimen, dog.
This fool dislocated his shoulder doing
6'6", 219 is what they have him listed on UFC's website.
Well, yeah, because
that's a specimen.
205 is the limit, so this guy's to make 205 at 6'6", bro. This guy needs to.
This guy Magomed. This guy's face fucking scares me. First of all, like this guy is scary as shit. I feel like he's taller than 6'2", but I'll say this: he definitely won that last fight against Jan. They fucked him on the title shot. He probably would have taken that from Jamal Hill, whoever the fuck that is. I'm just kidding. I know who Jamal is.
Sweet dreams would have put him to sleep. But anyway.
Yeah, but Johnny Walker, that's what I like lately, because he just kept on getting not just losing, but he kept getting just knocked out and just beat bad.
But
and then
I'll say this though, his losses aged well. Like look at who he lost to. Like everyone was talking shit about Jamal Hill. I honestly think Jamal Hill beats Magomedov. People sleep on Jamal Hill, but I don't know. I think this is I think as far as momentum goes, this is a very good fight for Johnny Walker.
It means more for him, and I think especially him knowing that. And Magomed already, was going to leave, and already kind of probably has that fuck UFC mentality that kind of like Nate Diaz and them had. Yeah, so it's just like it's hard to represent a company after getting fucked like that, and you don't see fighters like fighting to win so much. They're kind of just fighting for their bonus to just put on a show because they know they're not going to get put in the hot seat to be able to get a title. So they're like, you know what? I'm just going to punch with this guy, and I'm just going to get my fucking money and cash grab and run. So that's probably how he's going to go into it. Johnny Walker, has been on such a good Paul Craig. Who else did he fucking beat?
Hey, and Paul Craig's legit at light heavyweight.
Anthony Smith.
Bro, Anthony Smith is a fucking unit at 205, bro.
Yes, I'm so glad he went up there. I didn't even see that for him, but he went up and filled in great.
Oh, bro. I don't know if you
great.
saw, but it says only one of Johnny Walker's wins wasn't by finish.
He's a finisher, bro. But though, it's a good thing and a bad thing. And the reason why is because if you notice, if he doesn't finish, what happens? He's losing, bro.
He loses. And all these finishes are in the first round. So it's really going to come down to what's going to happen second, third round if he doesn't do what he thinks he's going to do.
And I'll say this, bro. I don't think Johnny Walker has a chin.
No, he doesn't. No, not at all. That's the only thing that worries me on this card is because Magomedov
is not known for like crazy hands, so it's a good fight. I like the fight for Johnny Walker. However, I think Magomedov is going to cruise to a win on this one. I see it just a unanimous decision, Magomedov.
I think, I think Magomed wins this. The thing that scares me is Johnny Walker's chin. That does, because he gets tapped, bro. He is in the fucking shadow realm.
Okay, let me throw this at you. Then. Let's say Johnny wins. What happens to Magomed at that point, considering his history with the UFC? Gone.
I don't know if he's gone.
He's going to Rancho.
He's gone. He's going to Rancho. I mean PFL.
Rancho. He just calls you up real quick. Hey, bro, just lost. You trying to hit Rancho?
Hey, on a sidetrack note, we're gonna kind of sidetrack for a minute here. PFL was gonna buy Bellator. It didn't go down, and I think Bellator is going under.
Really?
So while we're talking who's next and stuff like that, keep in mind you got people like Corey Anderson, Phil Davis, Ryan Bader, Chef Congo. You got fucking Patricio Pitbull. All those guys could fucking enter the mix in the UFC in the next couple months. So keep that in mind too.
Or what's actually gonna happen is they're gonna go to fucking PFL or one. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to one. And I think that's something that we should touch on sometimes, is one championship. Because I'll tell you what, if you ever watch one, they have
legit.
Probably they have more better fighters than the UFC. If you look at their rosters, look at how many world champions of different sports that go into that. There's more world champions of different sports that go into one than the UFC.
So that's what I was going to point out is, yes, they do have more world champions, but one has more specialists going into their sport versus UFC has more MMA fighter, like, I guess more well-rounded, but I'll say that, and I say this every time. Unfortunately, everybody knows if you want to be considered the best fighter in the world, what belt do you have to get?
UFC belt.
Oh,
I mean, they plan
But here's the thing. This is why Dana probably never wants to do any type of crossover fight.
bingo. And that's why Dana, because guess what happens when you start crossovering? You validate the other place. And what I don't want, okay, good.
You give it its name, because how many times, even today, how long the sport's been around, have someone that doesn't know too much about MMA say, "Oh, you do UFC or you watch UFC?"
Bingo.
That's MMA is UFC. UFC is MMA. Coca-Cola is soda. Coke is a soda everywhere else in the country. Oh, Coke? You want a Coke? Or you want a fucking a Q-tip? The Q-tip is the name of the brand, right? It's not the name of the device. Just like MMA is MMA. It's not UFC, but people still.
That's actually a good ass point.
And you put more eyes on that. So most casuals, which is what the sport's now built off of, because I mean, you're getting more people that are starting to train jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and all these sports that are getting more familiar with. Most people are hobbyists and casual fans, but UFC is the MMA. I just personally, as a combat sports fan, sometimes I prefer to watch one, because I'll say this: maybe they don't have better fighters. UFC has better top ranked fighters. One just has
all around a
more
roster.
Depth.
Yeah.
More depth. Like the number 12 guy could probably fucking come win it, depending on what weight class in the sport.
But that's why Dana White would never do a crossover, and it makes sense, bro. Because what happens when you do a crossover? You validate the other place, and then look at boxing, bro. You have 4 champions minimum per weight class. That's shit to me, because guess what, bro? Let's just say you have 4 champions, right? 4 champions total, and your champion defends against the number 1 contender of that organization. Overall, that guy could be ranked number 5 or 10 overall. So even if you're fighting the best guy in that organization, you're possibly fighting the 10th best fighter in the world. Versus the UFC, when you're the champ, you're defending the belt against the best. And people will give the champ shit for fighting number 4. They'll tee off on the champ for fighting number 5. But they'll never tee off on a boxer fighting a number 1 contender where there's 4 other champions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Dana White's smart because if you do that, he's gonna devalue his own brand. And everyone knows if you want to be the best, you need a UFC belt. Period.
And that's going to be why UFC stays on top of boxing as a sport. Because if you step into boxing, there's so many belts involved for one weight class, and it gets confusing. You're just like, wait, I thought that guy was a champ. And you got to explain all these different organizations for them. Versus UFC, that guy holds the belt. He ranks above everybody. Everybody else is just the G League. And that's how it is in everybody's head. Every other organization at this moment is the G League of the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. They don't. I mean, there's so many good boxers out there, but I can't. I just fucking can't watch them because I don't fucking know them.
I've been trying to get into boxing, and I talked about this last week on my other pod. Is the reason the KSI thing and the Tommy Fury thing was so exciting is because boxing's so dead. That thing, like the reason exciting is because the best YouTubers of the best YouTubers are fighting each other. That's the only reason boxing is this, bro. I stand by this. How much people talk Garcia up to fight Tank saved boxing, bro. Because he proved a point that, like, fuck it, bro. Best. Right after that, Haney stepped. Canelo's fighting big. The fight at the end. Up to fight the best of the best. And it started with Garcia. But regardless, if you're not a hardcore boxing fan and you're just a casual, you wouldn't even know that.
Yeah. And I think I actually watched that Full Send podcast with Jake, and he explained that too. And it's like it's think about it, bro. Think about how many people know who fucking Jermel fucking whatever his name is.
Charlo.
Mokaev. Who do you think knows? Who do you think more people know, him or Jake Paul in the world?
Jake Paul,
and now these boxers don't mind because one, they know they're gonna get a bigger check, and two, they are bringing more eyes to the sport, whether it's good for it or not. Dude, my dog's fucking.
on my last pod, I touched on that because fucking what I was talking about is Tyson Fury is considered your real boxer, right? We'll wait for the line. Yeah, so
Jermel?
I want to build on that a little bit. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because we got some good stuff to get to. But on my last pod, what we talked about is, for example, Tommy Fury, right? He's only like 10, 12, let's just say 15-0 max, right? When you're a boxer starting out, what do most boxers do? They pad their record. So they fight a bunch of fucking cans, right? But like as a boxer, instead of fighting 4 cans, you could fight 4 YouTube boxers, make $10 million a piece, and build up your name. And then when you go into those big fights, guess what? You can demand that money because you're worth the money. So for Tommy Fury, he's playing it smart because when he goes into these next fights, let's just say this whole YouTube thing's over. He beats KSI, he's beat Jake Paul. He's the best, right? Of the YouTube scene. Yeah. He can go into a pro fight and say, hey, I'm going to fight Anthony Hernandez. I want $5 million. They're like, what? This is your, like, what? He's like, well yeah, I'm going to pull the views in. So I need $5 million. He could do that because of the name he's built for himself. But anyway, I mean, that's why I love the UFC because they're recognized as the best. And if you want to be the best, You gotta be there.
They're recognized as killers, bro. That it's not a game.
100%.
My boy's gonna take a shot with us. Anthony.
Let me kill my drink.
Bro, literally without like
Shot.
the YouTubers, boxing would be pretty much dead at this point.
He's in
Yeah,
the bathroom.
and it also, I mean, it's good. It's the only thing it's good for right now
Dude.
is them bringing in views. It doesn't build the belief in that boxing is a great sport because you're just watching people that you know of.
Bro, I'll give you a perfect example.
He said,
This
is that a shot? No,
watching
no,
you
not more.
watching YouTube fighters fight, bro. This is like high school type shit. Like it's like, bro, so and so are gonna fight behind the school after school.
Joe
It's
Castillo
exciting,
versus-
though.
Exactly.
Honestly,
it's
bro,
that.
high school fights were so exciting.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Like if someone said,
that's what
hey,
watching
so
YouTube
and so's about
fighters
to
is.
fight
That's what
after
watching
school,
YouTube
I'm
fighters.
like, let's go.
Yeah.
We're there.
I'm skipping class.
And I'm looking for smoke, too.
And if anyone wants to fight, I'm down too.
No, but for real,
Hey, the
bro,
yo-yo?
like, those fights are exciting, bro.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's like a high school fight. It's people that you know fighting, and like you're excited about. You don't
best
care if
one-
they're good. They're just fighting.
the best ones are the girl fights
Ah.
because chill, dog.
You might see it too.
Girls are savage. I saw some chick grab some chick's head and just bash it on the concrete in junior high, dog.
I would never do
In
that.
junior
bro.
high.
I would never do that.
Me neither. But I looked at it and I was like, I was watching a girl fight and it's fun, it's funny, and they're fighting and shit. And then she just grabs her head and she goes, smack, smack. And I got
Like, bro,
scared and I was like, oh fuck. And I went away.
If I had a dude on the
You got
floor,
scared or did you laugh?
I got scared. Honestly.
if I was a dude
No,
like,
you
on top of
didn't.
another dude, I would never do that, bro. Like unless my life was on the line, I would probably just put him to sleep.
Yeah, that's
Like, bro,
even
that's how
afraid
you
to
go
fucking knock people
That's
out.
how you go to prison.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
All right, you guys ready for the next
There's a-
one?
Did you guys
But if there's a strap on the
Yeah.
line, then I'm down.
All right, I need you guys to stretch it out. This shit's about to get fucking real as fuck, bro.
Let's hit this.
All right. Co-main event. Number 1 ranked at welterweight, Kamaru Usman versus number 4 ranked at welterweight, Chimaev. Now,
This fight got
Can
a
we
lot
start-
more interesting.
I'm going to let you guys give your opinion. I'm just going to drop a little sprinkle and then I'll let you guys talk, all right?
Well, we can't talk about that until we talk about what fight was previously scheduled. Hamza versus Paulo, which was still a really good fight that I wanted to see.
I agree.
But when they made this change, I kind of saw it coming because he literally just got surgery. But I got way more excited once they saw this is the
This
best
is a better
case
fight.
scenario.
This is a
Yeah.
better fight, bro. And
This is the best.
The great
There's
thing
a lot
about
on the
it,
line on this fight. There's a lot on the line for this fight.
there's so much on the line, bro. And what people don't realize is Kamaru Usman got put in a bad spot at welterweight because he lost twice to the champ. And the guy who's fighting for the belt, he already beat twice, you know? So it's like he got put in a bad spot. And this puts him in it puts him in a great spot. It puts him in a great spot. So when I first saw this fight pop up, my first initial reaction was Khamzat's going to win this fight. He's going to win it. He's going to dominate. It's just too short notice. But there's a couple of things that I was looking at when I was looking at this fight. So yes, Khamzat's fought at 85 before, but he's not like this massive middleweight, you know? He's not like this super big middleweight that is, barely getting by the weight cut. Like, he's a big welterweight. He's an average size, if not a small middleweight. Versus Kamaru Usman, he's a big welterweight. And I know that MMA math doesn't work, but let's just take the Gilbert Burns fight, right? That's the one opponent that they have in common. Gilbert Burns did very, very well against Khamzat. And Khamzat wasn't able to impose his wrestling because he was good enough to get him off. When I look at Usman, someone who dominated Gilbert Burns, put him away in, I think it was the third round, his wrestling's better than Gilbert's. So I think that Khamzat's going to have a really, really tough time with the takedown. And his striking is better than Gilbert's as well because he stopped Gilbert with hands. You come in. What's up, my boy? How's it going?
What's up, boys?
This is Anthony.
This is Anthony. This is Malik.
Oh, Anthony and Malik. What's up, fella? Oh.
I'm going to finish this little
Oh,
chop.
good,
We'll
good.
take the shot. Actually, let's just take the shot. Let's take the
You guys
shot.
want to take one? Cheers, bro. Cheers, brother.
Got one.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Oh.
Wait.
So
Sorry.
here's my problem with that take, Joe.
Love it.
Usman is not that same guy right now. As of right now, from what we've seen recently.
You're already starting off terrible.
You're starting off dog shit, I'm not going to lie.
Hold on.
Bro,
Before you continue,
I'm not
bro,
saying that
before you
Let him finish.
continue,
Let him finish.
somebody's gotta
Let him
have
finish.
somebody's gotta have a hot take, bro. 2-fight slide streak, right? The knockout we can almost call that damn near a fluke because he was whooping his ass, right? He was dead. We were all convinced he was gonna come back with a vengeance. For some reason, to me, he did not look like he was moving as the same person. That's kind of concerning for me. I don't know if that was he was in his head again about it.
Damn.
I don't know.
Great point.
Taking a fight like this on short notice scares me for him.
You know, Malik, typically when I listen to you, I throw it out the window.
Bro,
But this was that's actually a
Hey,
very
some-
fucking good point because when I think maybe I'm thinking like I don't know, I'm just thinking differently, but
well,
absolutely.
on
what I'm
paper,
looking at
on paper, when you look at previous Usman, I would totally agree. Like,
no,
yeah,
you're absolutely
Those
right, bro.
past-
Because he was the fuck out of Leon when he lost that fight, but when you ran the second fight, Leon beat his ass, bro.
bro, because you got to consider, like, he's always said he's had the knee problem, right? But
I
like,
don't know.
he had this champion mentality. He was pushing through it. You got to wonder if that loss has changed his mentality on fighting. If he's starting to slip, we're gonna find out with this fight.
I don't
We're really
think
gonna
it
find
will
out. I think we're gonna.
Khamzat.
No, so two things on that. One, I don't think it changes his mentality, but there is some sort of like real thing around the fact of like, hey, bro, like you got knocked the fuck out, dog. You got knocked the fuck out at 33 years old. You weren't 25. You weren't 27. 33 years old in your prime, you got knocked out cold. Hit the floor and, bro,
Headshot, bang.
Kamaru Usman said he didn't remember anything until he woke up in the hospital, bro. This fool walked on his feet out of the arena to the back, got in a car, drove to the hospital, and when he was at the hospital, he came to. Then he hops into another fight with Leon, and
See, worst case scenario is that can't happen again.
so let's ask this because I'm looking at the odds, bro. Bro, we might want to bet some money. Khamzat is a negative 360 favorite, bro. He's almost a 4-1.
We should bet money on that.
Bro,
We should-
Usman's a plus 285, but
We
check
should
this,
bet
bro.
money on that.
I'm down to bet on it.
I'm gonna put money on.
On Usman.
I'm putting money on Usman, bro, all fucking day.
He's wanted that.
Let me touch on this though, real quick, before we get into that, because I think I know what you're saying, Malik, but I think it's extremely off because we got to remember who this is. This is Kamaru Usman. This guy was this guy's all right. Lost 3 times, got knocked out once at the very end, and the last one he straight up got beat up. Right.
The first
Other
fight he
than that-
lost was before the UFC, way back.
And he was on a 15-fight win streak. You're not talking to a guy that, like,
Had he not lost to Leon, he'd be considered one of the best fighters to ever live.
he was a number 5 pound for pound is still a pound for pound guy. I mean,
He was
and this is the
ranked
thing.
He was
Bro,
ranked
he
number
was
one.
ranked number one at one.
He was number one.
At
Yeah.
one point,
Yeah.
he was ranked
Okay.
number one.
There you go. And this is the thing about the UFC media or the sports media is that once this fucking guy loses, who's on top of the world, he loses his credibility. Just because this guy took 2 losses, I don't think that means shit. If anything, this is like a fresh start. Now, what's worse than
No
getting
weight cut.
leg kicked by fucking Leon Edwards? You know, like you can't get any worse than that. This guy, he's going up Khamzat. His wrestling's way better than Khamzat's. Khamzat's a fucking Swedish national champion. I don't know. Honestly, his wrestling
I'm gonna
is
stop
good
you
for the
right
UFC.
there. Don't disrespect his wrestling like that.
I'm gonna say this. I just think
When you
his
say
wrestling
way
isn't
better,
as good as people
like,
say.
I think Usman's wrestling's slightly better. When you say way better, I'm like, all right, bro, relax. Relax.
No.
bro.
What would be stupid? What
I
even
think
though
any-
he has better hands,
Well, keep
I
in
just
mind,
think it's good for him not to use his wrestling.
D1. Any person that wrestles D1 can go
He
compete in the
wrestled-
fucking
first of all,
Swiss national championships.
he wrestled D2. Let's get this straight.
D2, whatever. Any American wrestling shits on Swiss. That's not even the size of fucking Texas,
Yeah,
bro.
but what you're missing out is like you gotta pay attention a little bit more because he trained in Russia a lot.
Yeah.
That's why he bangs Russia a lot. But regardless of that,
Well, let me finish that. Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, as a loss in Kamaru Usman's mind is not as detrimental as people think it is. I don't think. I think if anything, he finds like the beauty out of it. You know, a lot of fighters feel like if they're on a hot streak and they keep winning, it gets to them a lot. They've got a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of media. He's not going to get as much media this time around, which is good because he can focus on the fight a little bit more. And I think, if anything, he's going to come into this, unlike we've seen him in a while, his aggressive type style. You know, I think he's going to come out a little bit more aggressive than usual. Not so. I mean, he's always jab happy, but he's going to jab, close the distance. I think Khamzat's going to initiate most of the wrestling, and I think it's going to be a lot of countering from Kamaru Usman.
fuck.
I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a grappling match. When you see 2 guys that are really good at the same style, they both go to their weaker style and compete there. You see 2 grapplers, they're striking. You see 2 strikers, they're trying to get each other down a lot of the times too. So
That's
I think
fucking crazy.
it's going to be a strike, and I think it's going to be a decision.
You guys are both making like super fucking valid points. And to build on that, like
because
really the only X factor here is Usman. He's the X factor. Which Usman's gonna show up? And here's the thing: if Usman A game shows up, I think he's a better striker than Khamzat. I think Khamzat's a better volume striker, but Usman knows how to land his jab very, very well, and he knows how to set up his overhand or his big hand. So if Usman can come out and stop the wrestling and establish a really good jab and even get a takedown of his own, I could see Usman winning this shit by decision. But
yeah,
if
see,
Usman comes out and he fought like he did against Leon in the second fight, I think he gets finished. But here's the only kicker. Khamzat's fought at 85 plenty of times. Usman hasn't fought at 85 in who knows how long. That could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, because we all know how weight cuts go, especially Usman. He's a big boy. So
Yeah.
I want to say that the weight cut is going to be a good thing for him because he's actually pretty big. But you're fighting Khamzat.
see, I agree with your take there, Joe. See, like I said, my biggest concern was that second fight. It's not the fact that he lost; it was the way he lost. It was just kind of like, yo, like, what happened? It'd have been different if I was like, damn, that was a close fight. Like, he got edged out. Like, I'm sure he's still there.
That's fact.
That made me question. That the way you lost made me kind of question it.
That's
Only
fact.
that.
That's facts, bro. That's fair.
Like, I also like to pay attention a lot when I'm looking at these fighters. I'm really into the teams and coaches too. We can't forget who the fuck his coach is.
Trevor Whitman,
One of
bro.
The GOAT.
Trevor Whitman.
Goats. Literally, I know they've trained for Khamzat already. This
And
isn't a
Trevor
dude.
Trevor Whitman is not okay in the head.
Yeah.
This guy's a
In a good
fucking
way.
psychopath, bro. And if I was a UFC fighter, I need an absolute maniac as my coach.
Yes.
And Trevor Whitman, bro, you see whether his fighter's getting knocked out or his fighter's knocking someone out, he's just like this. Like he's enjoying that shit, bro. That guy's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Malik,
Yeah,
get
and
off
that's
your
and
phone
that's
before I
another
fuck you up.
and that's another thing on his side is arguably one of the best coaches in the fucking MMA world.
I'm gonna take a piss real
You
quick.
got,
Sorry.
he's also gone
Keep
for
going, boys.
years and fucking tripped over a fucking
But-
cord.
But what I'm trying to what I'm
It
trying
was
to
a
say
cord
is-
that ended Tony Ferguson's UFC career. A fucking cord.
point being, Ant, is that this fight could say a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Depending on how it ends. If this
is
you know,
big.
if he loses by a split decision, something like that, all right, whatever. Like shit like that happens. He can't get starched.
this is win by decision or Kamaru Usman's gonna lose. He's gonna get knocked the fuck out by Khamzat. Because Khamzat is a really good
a wild
striker
card.
as far as like he said. Yeah, he's really good volume. He knows how to put 4-5 punches together really well. Kamaru Usman is set up, overhand, maybe take him down. It's definitely going to be a decision. If it's going to be a scary decision though, because Khamzat, I mean, we saw he can go through a fucking war and
Exactly.
last the whole rounds, but.
I missed out. Who
But
do
it is-
you guys have on that fight?
Come on, decision.
You got Hamzat decision? Both of you guys?
Well, I think if
Did you lock it, Joe?
if Hamzat wins, I think it's via finish. Otherwise, it's Usman by decision or finish.
How about I fuck both of you up?
How about you sit down and stop talking crazy?
Alright, my bad.
Hey, look. Hey, tequila bottle's right here, so. Shit's empty. And
Yeah, I don't know.
babysitting.
Alright, but
What do you
anyway.
mean,
that's
dog?
what-
This is all me.
Yeah,
This is full.
dude. Like, the neck
Alright.
is 80% of that.
L7. Anyway. So,
He said,
Yeah.
we'll circle back. I know we fucking kind of talked about it, but I think I kind of had my own opinion out before this, but after kind of listening to both of you guys, it really does depend on which Usman shows up. Because I think we can all agree, if the best Usman shows up, you're gonna see him win, and you're gonna see him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys watched the interview, but Dana White said winner of this fight gets to fight Sean Strickland for the middleweight title. So if Usman wins and steps up and he is who we think he's going to be, he fights Sean Strickland. Guess who already whooped Sean Strickland's ass?
Damn.
Kamaru Usman. He's already whooped Sean Strickland. And I'm not saying it's going to be the same fight because Sean Strickland's a dog. But Kamaru Usman beat the brakes off of Sean Strickland at 170.
And if and when that happens, he will win against Sean Strickland.
100%.
They're not gonna. Him and Izzy aren't gonna fight.
Well,
What's up
and-
with
Which is
that?
whack.
but
Big well, again, that's a
Who
business.
knows,
That's
though?
a business move.
who
You
knows
can't-
though? The only way, and this is a perfect world, rainbows and butterflies. Usman wins, he fights Strickland, he wins. Pereira wins the light heavyweight title. Izzy goes up to light heavyweight, takes the title, and they're a weight class apart, just like before. That's a rainbows and butterflies right there. But I'm gonna tell you this
Dude.
right now: Pereira is gonna Izzy at 205 if he goes up to that weight class.
Yeah, dude. What?
Kamaru's gonna win the belt, and Izzy is gonna be forced to fight Usman, and that's gonna be one of the biggest fights of 2024. Mark my words right now.
Might be one of the biggest UFC fights ever.
That's
Think about it.
That's a co-main event on UFC 300.
Oh,
I think Ooh.
that's a fucking main event. Kamaru Usman versus Israel Adesanya.
Okay, well let me educate you
Yeah.
guys for a second here. Guess
Oh
who
wait,
did-
never mind. UFC 300 is Connor and Michael Chandler. Okay, yeah.
Name one fighter that headlines over Conor. Don't worry, I'll wait.
No, but we can move forward.
Dana White will make John Jones fight a different time if Conor wants to fight on that card.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
fight. That's the only fighter I can imagine that headlines over McGregor. But here's the thing: McGregor won't do that. So
No.
I'm like, John, hey, you gotta fight in May, dog. Sorry.
Connor wants to fight right now, and he might
Conor
not
wants to
fight.
fight me,
So-
dog.
So the question is, if the stars align and that happens,
He's
Are
so
we-
loud on the mic.
how are we planning to meet up and watch this? Are we going? We're going there.
We're going wherever it is. Abu Dhabi.
What? You 300?
If the stars align and
It's in
Usman is
Vegas.
fortifies Izzy,
It's already been. No. So, are we talking about 300 or Usman versus Izzy?
yeah, Usman and Izzy end up having the fight. Like the stars align and that's what happens. We're going, right?
Depends where it's at. I'm not going to.
Vegas.
I mean, if it's Vegas, which that's probably where it would be, I'm down. Because keep in mind, Vegas is the fight capital of the world. So any
you're not gonna
any
fucking
major event is going to be in Vegas. The only reason they do events like this in Abu Dhabi is because look at your headliner. It's Islam.
You're gonna do Russia and Asia in Abu Dhabi. They're gonna start doing fights in China
I
probably.
would love to go to Abu Dhabi. I would love that.
And
But I would need like 2 weeks off of work. Because I'm
Yeah.
going to go.
Yeah, bro.
I might not come back, dog.
I don't think it's as
No,
fun
it's
as
not
you think it's gonna be. but it's
Well,
gonna be-
you might not come back because you
I
might
heard
get
Abu
put in
Dhabi's like
Arabic jail.
I heard Abu Dhabi's like an Atlantis, bro, just like a wonder society. They do everything right.
do a pod in Abu Dhabi. Stop it.
I can't even stand up because my dick's so hard right now.
Look at this, bro. Think about this. We're getting off topic, but I'm down. Think about this. We have the funds available to do more than a smaller podcast starting out. So we could do more cool shit like that. And that just because we've worked so hard and done what we got to do, be able to do this.
Well, look at December, bro. Money's allowing
Exactly.
us
This
to
is
do
the
that.
beginning of it.
Money's allowing us to do that. If I was broke, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Exactly.
I wish I could talk more about that.
Financials, relationships.
And it all comes down to work ethic, you fucking pussies. That's why none of you guys succeed. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to
Exactly.
the world right now. Fuck.
Oh, I was
bro.
about to
Our
say,
gen-
wait, that was a wild
our-
statement right
I
there.
know. like,
our generation is so
That's a wild statement.
our generation is so fucking weak, bro.
He's just looking
Oh,
trash,
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah,
No,
I
It's
mean-
like
no,
fucking-
no, but think about it. Our generation is so trash. Like most of the people that our age are like, oh, well, the blah blah blah. Like this happened, that happened. Like, what about this country does? Like, shut up, bro. Like, find out the rules, play the game the best, and get to the top.
Yeah.
Everyone
If
just
you
has
really
an
want to change the
excuse.
if you really want to change the fucking world, then do it, and don't just be posting shit on social media or just talking about it. Do something. All right. I'm not a fucking world activist. I'm just here to fucking live my life with my boys, with my family, and do it the best way I can. And why not win the fucking game that was put here in front of me?
Bingo. Everyone bitches about the rules instead of just understanding them.
It's so easy to play a victim mentality, especially when you're down in the dumps and
Especially
feel like
in the
shit.
U.S. of A.
Bro, too many people, they just find excuses of why they can't do something. Like, well, if it wasn't like that, well, shut the fuck up. It is
Well,
like
it is,
that.
it is. It is like that. So figure it out.
Get the fuck out, straight up.
Anyway, before
And-
I get too hammered, we gotta get through this.
We're going to Rancho.
I'm about to start.
We can talk about some
yelling.
bullshit.
All right.
No one's here, so we could fuck around.
Last fight. Call it what it is. This is the fight of the fucking year.
Change.
Fight of the night. Best fight on the card. Most anticipated fight of the fucking year. We got Islam versus Volkanovski 2. Short notice Volk. Before we go into predictions, I just want to hear your initial thoughts about the fight when it got announced. And keep in mind, before you guys go into it, Islam is a negative 340 favorite. Volk is a plus 270.
Parlay. That's money.
Much better fight. Much
Yeah.
better fight.
I'm putting money on
Easily.
Volk and-
$100
and Volk
parlay with Usman and Volk, you'll win like fucking $800 to $1,000.
Anyway, what's your initial thought on the fight card?
Much better competition. We already saw how that first fight went. We already saw what happened when Oliveira went in there. He showed nothing to make me think that second time might have been any different or worse.
Thank you for saying that, because I have homies like Hector
Shout out to Hector.
that just swear on everything that Oliveira was going to go in there and just do something completely different.
No.
No,
No.
I'm
Everybody's so
a-
scared of his ground game. Everybody's so scared of his ground game. Islam said, fuck that. I don't care.
Listen.
And you want me to think
I'm a
it was going to
big-
be any different?
I'm a big Islam fan. I'm not Islam. I'm a big Charles fan. I love Charles. I love his striking, honestly, more than his ground game, because his striking in the last like 4 or 5 fights, you could see how much better he's gotten. And that's the only reason I put him in that fight, as far as competing, because he's not a guy that's familiar with loss. You know, he's literally the fucking dark horse of the UFC. Loses a couple times, comes back, wins fashionably a few times, loses a couple times, wins great. He's that guy that's going to keep touching the belt. He'll touch the belt again, I think, at some point. But I didn't think he was going to beat Islam this round. I watched that fight back, and I don't think he did as bad as people thought, because he's so comfortable being in the grappling positions no matter where he's at. But I think he's a lot better striker than he displayed that fight. When this got announced, though, I was like, this is better. For sure better. Way better. Because I don't know about you guys, but I thought Alex won the last one.
Me too.
And I rewatched it even. If you even count control as a factor, which they don't, or they shouldn't too much, then it really wasn't that far of a fight.
Okay.
As far as the difference.
I'll try to keep it short so you can talk, Malik. But 2 things on that. One, I did run the fights back. I thought Volk won on it when I watched it the first time. I watched it 2 more times. I think Islam won. But going back to the Oliveira fight, the reason Oliveira was such a threat, and I always say this, if you believe in alternative universes, this universe is the best possible timeline for Oliveira ever. And here's why. This guy's been beat by everybody. Big names, no names, everything in between. When you look at his last 5 fights, 4 fights, 5 fights, we'll go back to Tony Ferguson. The Tony Ferguson fight, I think now as time has gone on, he's probably not as good as maybe we thought, right? When you look at his other fights, Chandler, Gaethje, and Poirier all dropped him and all hurt him really, really bad. But what happened, besides Chandler, because Chandler's a really good wrestler, that one was, I think Chandler beats Oliveira 9 times out of 10. But when you look at Gaethje and Poirier, when he got dropped, boom, guess what happened?
Come on. Come to my world.
Come to my guard. I dare you. And what do they do?
And they didn't want to.
What did they do? They step back, stand up. And what happened? They got exposed, bro. And Oliveira put them both down, took it to the ground, or took it to it. What happened is Oliveira used his striking to move them to a grappling exchange, which is smart. Obviously, that's what he's supposed to do, and win the fight. But I don't want to say Oliveira is not that good because I think that's disrespectful. But I just don't think that, like when people say Oliveira's lightweight GOAT, I'm like, you're tripping, bro. You're tripping. You're high as fuck. He is not the lightweight GOAT. If Khabib was here, Khabib would bend that fool over sideways and have a field day with Oliveira. And when I see Oliveira in this fight, I thought it was going to go the same way. And I think that's why this fight excites me so much, is because if I was a judge only seeing it one time, I got Volk, bro. I thought Volk won that fight. When I ran it back, I thought Islam won the fight. But just like you said, like you ran it back and you thought Volk still won. So that just goes to say how close the fight was. The only thing that just lingers in my head when I look at this fight is Volk was training for Eliot, which is a heavy striker, heavy right hand, heavy striker.
Stop right there. Eliot Tapura, future champ. Just gonna drop that in there.
No.
I love him.
No.
One of the best strikers I've ever seen in my life. But future champ, keep going.
Yeah, almost lost twice to people who are unranked. Anyway, when I look at this fight, he's training for Tapura. And by the way, I think Volk bullies Tapura. I think he bullies Tapura, bro. I'm going to get back to that, okay? But when I look at this fight, Volk was training for Tapura, but he wasn't in camp yet because he wasn't sure if the fight was going down or not. He probably was about to get into camp, but he wasn't in camp yet. Islam was in camp, and he just hit his peak. He's about to weigh in next week, be it down bad for a little bit, and he's right back to his peak. So for me, Oliveira training for a completely different fighter, especially like the range of difference, striker versus grappler, when Islam was training for really both. Islam's ready, and I think that Islam's going to get this W. I think that Islam's going to do it twice. And even though, I know Volkanovski can do it, I just don't think that he should have took this fight. That's just my opinion.
Honestly, I had my questions about him too. Like, obviously, I'm excited about this fight being pushed through. I really just wish Volk had a full camp because there's no telling how prepared he is to take this because it obviously was not an easy fight.
And the fucked up part is Volk won't make an excuse. We will.
No, not at all.
We will. We're gonna be like, fuck. I wish Volk had a full camp. Fuck.
Because Volk's a dog. He took it. Like, good on him.
Yeah.
The only reason I find this fight exciting, like, because I'm in the same boat as you, Joe. Like, obviously, real time watching the fight, I'm like, damn, I think Volk should have won that. Watched it back, and I'm like, you know what? Like, he definitely lost, but I don't think he was that far behind either. What gave me hope for Volk was that fifth round when he drug Islam into deep water and started getting on him. And it's one of those Nate Diaz type situations where, like, damn, if he had just a little bit more time, who knows what could have happened.
100%, bro.
Yeah. And
that's a great point.
I think it's cool with the short notice. I think Volk, besides he just got stitches not too long ago and had to probably sit out for a week, you know, I think he's going to come in fresh. I think he's the type of fighter that's training year round anyways. He might not be in a camp, but he's only fought 5-round fights for God knows how many fights, you know? So I don't think he's ever really out of shape. He might get bigger, fatter, because he's just that type of guy that just blows up. But he's still not cutting that much weight as he would have to with Ilya. He's still been training, I know for a fact. So I don't think he's at as much of a deficit as people think because he's the type of fighter that's always working, you know? Yeah. One of those fighters that just kind of live in the gym. He's a game-ass dude that's down for it whenever, so he knows he needs to be ready whenever. I think
that's facts, bro.
For me personally, I think Volk takes this one. I think it's going to be the same fight, but I think, and Islam was doing a lot of what I like about it is that Islam was training for Charles. He was probably training to be a little bit more aggressive on that fight. Yeah. And now he knows how good as far as grappling that Volk is. Even though he was backpacking him quite a bit, he wasn't hurting him there. He was laughing, talking the whole time. So
Yeah,
Volk, I think, is coming in fresh, pretty fresh. He's not beat up from a camp, too. You got to remember that. Camps beat you up as well as put you in shape. So he's probably coming in with a pretty clear mind. And he's not the type of fighter that puts stress on himself as well, I don't think. I don't think he's got this thing hanging over him where he's like, oh, I got to win. Or no, he's just there to fight, there to have a good time. I think he takes this as the same fight, but I think he pushes the pace just like he did last time. Islam is still the counter fighter on this fight, but doesn't capitalize as well as he did in the last fight.
Here's what I got to say about pushing the pace, because I don't know if you noticed this. He should, on paper, be the better striker. The amount of times he got caught.
Bingo.
I think he needs to be more careful, like not let the moment, because I feel like he did let the moment get to him in some cases. We usually see him really composed because he's, for the most part, whooping everyone else's ass. It's been a while since we've seen him be like in a dogfight. So I feel like in a few moments in that fight, he got caught rushing in and ended up getting caught himself, which is something he's not used to happening. I think that's the biggest change he can make.
Well, he is used to closing the distance a lot because he's always the shorter fighter. So when you're watching him fight, a lot of what he does, he stands in an orthodox stance. He steps forward with an uppercut to get closer, and then he's right there with either the straight or the left hook. So he knows how to close distance well.
He knows how to
strategically because he's always the shorter fighter. So I think he comes into this the same way.
I think a little bit more cautious. I still don't abandon game plan at all. But I know you saw, Joe, a few times he went in there a little too rogue and got himself caught. And what happens? What happens is he gets caught, he goes stumbling, gets brought to the ground, not hit by his takedown. Now he's being taken down. And obviously, like, we don't want to talk about some advantage being that much of a thing, but like once he's on the ground, obviously Islam's going to have leverage on him.
And that for me is a big telltale sign, and here's why. Because when you look at Islam, right? Let's take Volk out of it. Islam is training for round 2 versus Charles. What are you training for? You already out-grappled the fuck out of him, right? You know that when he lays down and says, come into my guard, you said, I'll open the front door and kick that bitch in. I'm here.
Yeah.
So what does he need to prepare for better? Striking. So what has Islam been training for? What has Volk been training for?
Striking.
No.
Well, with Eliot, to take Eliot down.
Because here's the thing. We all know, for example, this is a perfect example. Let's just say I don't know how to grapple, and Ant, you have your pedigree of grappling. And I tell you, hey, in 3 months, I'm going to learn how to grapple. What are you going to say?
You're getting washed.
Good luck. I'm going to fuck you up 3 months later. No.
Yeah.
But guess what you got to do? Since you already know he's maybe the better striker, if not even, you got to work on your grappling. Mm-hmm. And I just think that, unfortunately for Volk, I just think that game plans didn't work out for him as far as his camp goes. And I think Islam is not only the better grappler, not by a ton, but I think he's better enough to make the fight go his way. I think Islam has been training a lot more on striking. And I think that he's going to... The last fight, he dropped Volk like 3 times, bro. And I think that this time around, I think it's going to be a closer fight just because of how... I think it'll be closer because of they're gonna both be somewhat cautious. I think Islam's gonna win, and I think striking will be the difference. That's my call.
You know what's the crazy part too is if you look on UFC's website, Volk actually has the reach advantage.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Really? Well, this is the thing.
But where the difference comes in is
yo, he has a 1-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, but see where the difference comes in is the legs and trunk. He has more lean to get that punch across.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Islam has a 4.5-inch reach advantage on the legs.
Exactly. So he might not have it in the arms, but his legs will get him there.
And up until the Volk fight, I think if you pay attention, a lot of people don't or didn't put a lot of respect on Islam's striking, which he's a really good striker. He is a really good striker.
He's just so
Elite
good at
grappler.
grappling that why not use that?
Yeah, and the difference between like jiu-jitsu and sambo is the pressure. That's what I noticed.
It's like wrestling. It's like wrestling pressure with jujitsu.
Exactly, and that's what I noticed in jiu-jitsu a lot is the pressure. That's where you start. So the pressure of a grappler comes into play at brown belt. You know, you're just learning submissions and how to pass and how to work from your guard as a white blue belt. You know, you're just kind of working on little techniques. But where you start learning pressure is those higher belts. You already get that with wrestling and sambo off the rip. And I mean, even in the sport of just no-gi jiu-jitsu that's getting a lot more famous nowadays, is you'll see these guys that are wrestling a lot. And the pressure that brings, like against a guy like Charles Oliveira, that's why he does so well against that, is because, yeah, Charles is a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but there's Russian sambo and there's arguably American jiu-jitsu, which is a real thing, you know? Ding! The pressure that Islam brings is just unmatched for any guy that even knows grappling. The fact that Volk's good and Volk's just strong because he's a fat boy that got small, you know? That's really it. Is he's just able to fucking honestly just be stronger than these guys and know some technique to get out, small enough to get out of these weird situations too.
Yeah, bro, and I think that's why I got Islam. Is I do think that. I'll tell you what. If Volk wins, it's by the nastiest KO you've ever seen in your life.
I'll tell you what. I'm putting my money on Volk.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Do I think he's gonna win? Probably not. But am I gonna put my money on it?
I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
I got Islam and I got Kamzat, but I'm putting probably 250 on a parlay for Volkanovski and for Usman.
Okay, but on this entire card that we talked about? Is there anybody that you're looking at that's just like, oh, a for sure win? Like, is there anyone you're most comfortable with? That you're like, oh, this is a for sure win. It's not.
Ikram, maybe.
I think the most solid two that I have in my head is Nathaniel Wood and Makhachev and Anakalev. Those are the two that kind of stick out. Bro, the co-main and the main are, oh my God, bro. And by the way, those two fights that I just said, those are still really good fights. But the co-main and the main are like, dude. Those are really good fights, bro. Like, really fucking good fights.
Yeah, I feel like what they did on this fucking card is crazy.
This card's crazy, bro.
They made a great card, way better.
Last one. Who do you think wins in a fight? Me or you?
Who's you? Both of us?
Both of you, dog. I'll fuck both of you guys up.
Bro, get him. Big Cat. Get him out of the chair. Get him out of the room.
This dog.
This fool got another bottle, bro.
We ain't stopping.
Yeah, see, he doesn't need that.
Hey, I want to shout out to anybody that watches this for over 2 hours. If you made it this far, you're a real one.
2 hours?
No, dead ass. No, bro. We've been filming. It's 2 hours. Yeah, we just hit 2 hours.
Better yet, hey Joe, I got a question for you.
A lot will be cut out, but hey, real shit.
There's only a few parts.
Before Malik actually puts me on a fucking Blackstone seared pan right now, I appreciate you guys for coming out. Obviously, you guys are my boys, so I wouldn't expect anything less. But there's a handful of people that I know are going to be watching this video and that have subscribed to my channel, like that are just really good homies. I appreciate you guys because I'm not gonna forget that shit. I was telling my last week's pod, B. I was like, bro, like you hopped on a fight night. Like I have so many people that don't want to hop on those. Like I have so many people that don't want to do a fight night. They only want to do a pay-per-view card and like all this different shit. And there's so many obstacles that come with it. And I just fuck, bro. I'm low-key hella juiced that I have like good homies. Big Cat is here doing the camera shots. He's doing all the camera work.
Big Cat.
Shout out to Big Cat. Shout out Big Cat.
Bro, like,
Shout out to Big Cat with the
there's
camera.
so much more work that goes on.
This is the fun
besides
part.
this. Like this is the easy part. This guy does all the fucking hard work, bro. Like this guy goes through
Not only that,
everything.
Not only that,
You
I just
guys
want
are
to shout
going
out
a
Big
little
Cat
long, bro.
from last year to
2-hour
now.
pod, dog.
Hold on. I'm giving Big Cat some flowers because from last year to now, and I think in the next like 3 years, I've just seen you grow so much, bro. And I
wish you were here,
everything.
I appreciate that. Real quick, I wish you were here though, bro. Because even 1 year, bro. Like
I know.
I've been putting it in.
The cool thing about Big Cat is it's kind of like one of those things where you've been that guy for so long, but it's only just a matter of time before skill starts to actually peek through. And for Big Cat, like he's just been doing it for so long, and he's been this good for that long.
Yeah,
like, he's been good, and Big Cat's now just starting to like get financial benefit from it, you know, and
and
it's just
finding
it's really fucking
finding-
cool because Big Cat, the skill that he has is second to none, and it's finally starting to pop through, and this guy's starting to make money, bro. By this time next year, Big Cat's gonna be making like real money, like real.
I'll be at 10K a month by the end of this year. At the end of this year, 10K a month.
Honestly, I just,
Big moves, Big Cat.
There's mine, G. Come on.
Why?
Listen, dog.
We'll do it on a certain day. I'll take it. I'll take it, man. This shit's getting blown tonight at Rancho, boys. We'll send you fucking stories, I guarantee. Joe's got till 11.
Shout out to Rancho.
2 hours,
You should
bro.
get Rancho to
We
sponsor
got
the
2
pod.
hours, bro.
Yo. How about this, though? How about this? Little ideas, little fucking nuggets.
Wait,
One.
Let me turn you up, man.
One.
Wait, go ahead.
One. Things to think about. One. You got some fucking loyal guests and subscribers who say we gotta do some type of giveaways. You know, maybe not too soon, but hey, we're doing a pod we're going to a fight in fucking whatever, fucking St. Louis. We're gonna fly a guest out with us. You gotta pay for your own room straight up, but we'll get your flight.
Bro, in a
or you
year,
just sleep on the floor with us.
Sorry.
You know, giveaways.
We should do that.
Bro,
for
sponsor-
December.
In a year at a
I'll do
point,
that in December.
not this December. No. You're already flying enough people out to that.
I'll do it for my
yeah, you're-
birthday.
He's already flying a couple.
Damn, Big Cat's gassing right
my
now.
birthday wish in
Big
March
Cat's gassing.
is to fly a guest out with me to a fight.
Bro,
So
to
guess
the
what?
fight,
Like, subscribe,
hotel, and
copy,
get to
paste
kick
on
it
your
with
story.
us.
You're getting entered into the raffle, and I'm gonna fly you
Bro.
out for my birthday. You're gonna spend I'm gonna invite you to my birthday. We're going to the fight. We're doing the pod. We're getting the table.
Why did that actually echo?
Hey Joe, since you got a bunch of loyal subscribers, we gotta set up some giveaways. Maybe Vegas, maybe
I
another
think that's
card.
pod
But we
20.
fly them out
Hey,
because we are flying.
Hey.
We are already. Hold on. By the way, guys,
Let's do this.
Go ahead.
we mostly Joe right now. But together, I think we're all gonna kind of fund this to kind of just get it going until it gets bigger, right? And then we can get some sponsors and whatnot. But we still have the means and want to be able to do it like a big podcast
I'm
would.
going to blow
Yeah.
this up, bro. I'm going to blow this up.
Yeah, we're trying to blow this up. We love this shit. We're gonna do it regardless if it blows up or not. I feel like we have the connections with real people that are in the business, people that know how to do all the podcast shit. And I don't want to say too much about that.
I may not be
But-
funding it, but I'm putting in the work.
hear me out. Hear me out. Big business
Yeah.
idea. Does Blast play fights?
No.
Do they?
Damn, that's crazy.
Huh?
I was
We
gonna say
could
whichever
make-
bar in
we
Santa
could be
Maria,
the guys that
whichever
make it
bar
happen,
plays
though,
fights
bro.
in. I was gonna say whenever Bar plays fucking fights in Santa Maria, right? Feel me?
Yeah.
You talk to him, be like, "Hey, bro, we got this podcast. We talk about fights before the fight happens. You make a pod about the upcoming fight. They play it on their monitors. So say like Blast played fights. You know, they have the stupid Chive TV where they show stupid TikTok videos and shit. Imagine like instead they showed like our pod like recapping whatever fights coming up. You know, our predictions, scouting report and stuff, and then the fight happens that weekend.
Before you go, let me say something. I know the director of marketing at Blast. We could make that shit happen.
Also, like just like Full Send and Nelk does, podcast at the location. Hey, we're at Blast. They're playing the fights here. That's promotion for them. Come watch it. We're doing a pod today with fucking whoever the fuck about this card that they're playing on Saturday. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody wins on that case.
It's like Barstool Sports almost.
Yeah.
Because they do that shit.
We'll do this, and we'll make a this. This is gonna end up being a reel right here. We'll do this. So I'm confident, and I think that you guys are confident that if we could do this the right way, we'll blow this thing up. Yeah. We're gonna blow this thing up. Episode number 20. If you do the math, because for me, I would want to do something on my birthday. Right now we're on episode 5, and then we'll have episode.
No, we're on
6.
episode 6.
This is 6. End of this month will be 7, right? So 4 more weeks in November, that's 12. Another 4 in December, that's 16. So by March, we'll have another 8 on there. So that's going to put it at 24. Episode number 25 for my birthday. We're flying somebody out to a fight.
Yo, let's go.
On my birthday, March 5th, 2024, we're gonna do a sweepstakes. We're gonna fly someone out to a fight.
And I'll pitch in for that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna do that.
I like it.
Fuck yeah, that'd be sick.
And for the people, because I've already said thank you to all the people that have been on my fight night. You guys, like, although you guys are my best friends and you guys should do this shit anyway, I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys because you don't have to do it, but you know, you guys do it anyway. So I appreciate you guys, but especially for the people that are on a fight night card that don't want to be there, like you guys are just hopping on, taking time out of your day. Because I do have fight cards coming up where I have them signed up, you know, for people to come on during the fight night and shit. Like I appreciate you guys coming on because without you guys, I couldn't even make this pod. And when it does get to that point, every single person that has done a fight night for me will get put into this raffle as well. So we're gonna do a sweepstakes, but every single person that has done a fight night card with me will get put into this raffle as well. And then all my boys by default are gonna go anyway. So
It shouldn't even have to give you incentive to hop on the shit.
No, but the cool thing is like it's the cool thing is I have the whole rest of the year booked already. So whoever was gonna be on a fight night is already scheduled in. Whoever and there's people, you know who you are, fucker. You said no to these fight nights and you wanted to be on the big cards, which is great. But you ain't getting pulled for these ones. Hector Dragon.
You lost, bitch, whoever you are.
No, but it's cool. So my commitment is for my 28th birthday. Let's fly someone out to a UFC event. Let's do it.